Hello, everybody. My name is the Kiwi Buzzsaw, Travis Banks, and we are back with another exciting episode of our podcast, What's Up with Wrestling, the Buzz Talk podcast. Hello, Jess.
That was quite a journey on your face then.
Yeah, we started the recording and I was just thinking about stuff to talk about as I was like saying the intro.
You just looked like your face kind of froze a little bit. It was
Yeah,
like glitching
yeah, it
as these
was.
words were coming out, but you didn't quite know if you were saying the right thing or not.
Yeah. I probably should put this timer on as well so we don't go over. And also, we're probably trying to beat our neighbors having a party as well. Gonna get this out before they start like rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling. It is a Friday night.
Yeah, I can just feel it. Like I can feel the energy outside.
You know what? I actually think you sound quite bitter, Trav, because sorry,
Now
he's
just
like putting me in front of
eating
the
the microphone.
microphone. um, I think you're actually quite bitter because we spent our Friday night eating pizza and watching Wonka, and you're just jealous because there are people across the way living it up, you know,
I mean, I don't think there's a better way to live it up than eat pizza and watch Wonka.
and dance around the living room.
Well, there's chocolate
Chocolate,
and
and
there's
there's
chocolate.
chocolate.
Right, get back from the microphone. Like this far, you like eating it.
Oh my god, just
Now.
literally throwing me around.
I was trying to
Um,
pull you back and you were getting closer to it.
I'm excited by Wonka. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
how much did it annoy you that I was just singing all the songs?
No, it's alright.
Was
Because
it
that's a
okay?
pretty catchy movie.
But did you know that I have been listening to the songs on repeat for the past 3 months?
Yeah, I know, because I can hear you like dancing and singing in the kitchen when you make dinner. You think I can't hear you, but I can.
Do you have a sweet tooth?
I do. Go, keep going. It's true. The three chocolatier, the chocolate cartel, are the best characters of that
They are.
movie. If anybody's watched Wonka, fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, hands
Hmm.
down, best part of the movie.
Yeah. So, hello.
Hello.
What have you been doing? What? Hold on. Let me ask you formally. What's up with wrestling in your neck of the hood?
Well, we were meant to be on a show tonight.
I mean, we'll get to that in a
We'll
sec.
get to that.
Put a bloody pin in that one, guys.
Mm.
We'll keep you fucking around a little longer in the algorithm. So, yeah. So, what? The last thing that we probably spoke about was Riot,
Yeah,
and then we did DTU the next show.
yeah.
The next day,
The
sorry.
next day.
And I wrestled. Who'd you wrestle? You had a big tag match.
Yeah,
I mean, the show was good. The DT were trying out a new venue, and it was pretty full at first. And when you went out, the crowd was still pretty full.
yeah, yeah.
But
It was okay.
yeah, but by the time I went out, the crowd had seemingly just left.
Yeah,
We had a good match, which is the most annoying thing. But like the crowd, there was just no crowd to perform in front of.
I think it was because the show was a little bit too long.
Yeah, it
It
started late. Yeah,
Yeah, and it started a good hour late as well.
yeah.
So by the time we got to your match, I think they were just quite tired.
I think too because they usually do that at the dojo show with DTU.
Yeah.
They're used to it there that it runs a little late.
Well, this wasn't even in Tulansingo.
No,
This
that's
was
what I'm saying though. But
it's
like
half an
it's
hour
not
outside.
they're not used to.
Yeah, it's not the usual
Yeah.
DTU crowd. I mean, maybe there were some people there from Tulansingo, but
Mm.
the house shows are normally pretty hot.
But you got to witness me, and I always talk to you about it. Like when shit's just like not going right, how much like more effort you have to put in to try and bring the match back.
Oh my gosh. I was out there with you, and just when you went out there, the energy was so low. And I was thinking, I don't know how you're going to do this. Like, if this was me, I would just want to walk straight back to the back because it's such like, it feels like you're putting yourself out there and they just don't care. But the crazy thing is you don't let that affect you at all. Like, you go out there with the same energy, whether it's, 50 people or 5,000 people, you go out there with the same energy. And that crowd who were tired, who had watched like 4 hours of wrestling, half of them had left.
Mhm.
Um, but they really like, you just, I don't even know how you did it. It was like a miracle in its sense.
To be honest though, like you've seen me at like a few shows like lately where I've literally had zero energy sitting in the back, trying to warm up, keep myself loose. And just the thought of actually going out and wrestling in front of people is crazy. But I don't know what it is, and I know this is like cliche to say, but as soon as like my music comes on and I walk out there, I don't think about anything else.
You just turn it on.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
and I
just
have to.
something in you that
Well, to be honest, there was a story, and I don't know if if it was in Bret Hart's book or not. It might have been. I don't remember exactly, but there was a story about somebody wrestling Ric Flair, and I don't. If anybody's listening to this, they probably don't know the story because it's been told 100 times. Um, you okay?
yeah, sorry.
What?
No, nothing else fine.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What happened?
I yawned.
Oh.
I didn't want to do it into the camera.
It looked like you just did a convulsion. I was like, holy crap. I was like, you okay? Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember the exact details at the moment, but like, it was a story of like Ric Flair used to go out, party all night, and drink and stuff like that, and then turn up to the venues still like hungover. And there was a particular story where like it was still when it hit was faces and heels locker room, and his opponent looked what seen him on a couch, like disheveled, hungover, and then he went to the other side of the arena to come out his side and on the entrance. He went out to the ring, and it was only like half an hour later or something, and like Ric Flair came out for the match, and he was like immaculately in his robe,
yeah.
presentation. He had all the energy in the world, and he didn't
Yeah.
let like being hungover or anything stop him. And apparently they did like an hour or something in the ring after that. And like I always remember reading that story and thinking like, I'm not even hungover. So if I'm not
Yeah.
hungover or like there's nothing really wrong with me, I can turn it on for like 15, 20 minutes.
Could you imagine if we were hungover? I can't even have one drink now without waking up hungover the next day.
Yeah, I know.
Could you imagine if I did drink and then I had to wrestle the next day?
Oh, I mean, I've done it.
I
I've
mean,
done it a bunch of times.
I
But
mean,
like,
and
yeah,
I know plenty of people have. I'm just saying, like, credit where credit's due. Because
yeah.
I have one drink and the whole of the next day I have the shakes. I'm
Yeah.
not even joking.
There was a time in Japan. I just had I'll try and keep it brief, but like I just had a really really cool match with a guy called Kohei Sato. It was a really hard hitting like strong style match, and straight after the match we had to go to another city and go out to eat with some sponsors, then go back to the hotel. And I remember he was really happy with me, and we went out to eat with the sponsors. And I'm thinking, yes, okay, I'm gonna get back to the hotel, well rested, get up in the morning, we're gonna put up the ring, um, and then whatever, have a good show the next day. And as I was getting in the cab to go back to the hotel, Kohei put his hand on my shoulder and he's like, "Tonight you drink with me." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Oh god! I was like, "Oh no!" And then so we went to like I guess it was like a fans bar or something. Like
Yeah.
a fan like invited us to a bar, just me and him. I
Yeah.
don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Japanese,
Yeah.
and we just literally drank with these fans until like we had to be out at like 7:30 in the morning to get into the bus. I didn't get back to my hotel room until like 6, and I was hammered drunk, like hammered. They had to knock on the door, and they had to go get the like hotel clerk to come open the
Yeah.
door to get me out.
Oh my gosh.
And all I remember from that night was like we were drinking shoju, which is pretty. It tastes like water, but it's like really
More
really
lethal.
potent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember we were just like, there's like wooden skewers and like death matches.
Yeah.
We were just like hammering those into like the fans wanted us to like hammer it into their heads. I don't know. I don't remember. It's just like a fragment of memories in like my brain. Anyways,
I
so
love it
yeah,
that the drunk mind is like, yeah.
still like, jamming wood into people's head. And so that happened, and then we had to wrestle the next day. And I remember trying to put this ring up at the venue, and Hidaka, my trainer, came up to me and he's like, "Travis, go into the. It was snowing as well outside,
Yeah.
and because I remember it being really really cold, and I could literally like pick up like beams. I was
Yeah.
like shaking and like stumbling over and stuff. And he goes, "Travis, go sleep in the locker room."
Yeah.
So I literally just all day, just on my like gear bag, I slept the whole time
Oh really?
under like my jacket, just under a table
Yeah.
in this like locker room.
Yeah.
I could see like snow out the window.
Oh my
I'm just
gosh.
looking at the snow and I just fell asleep for like 6 hours. Then I got up, planned my match with Kamikaze, put my gear on, and then fell asleep for like another 2 hours. Woke up, went and did the match, and it was like fucking awesome, like a great easy match. And then I went back to the locker room. I just slept until the show finished.
Did they not have anything like to say about it? They didn't have a problem.
No, because I guess it's like the culture, like they like when we go out and drink with. Well, then I don't know, maybe I
Yeah.
got it wrong, but like they'd like to see us go out and have fun with the sponsors and stuff like that.
Okay. It's good for their
Yeah,
business, would you say?
and as long as we weren't like super irresponsible,
Yeah.
like that was, that like had I been still like throwing up and like fucking like I couldn't handle myself or
Yeah.
something, or I
And
was
the
like, no,
match was bad.
and the match was bad, they probably would have been like whatever. But like I remember thinking about that story that I just told you about Ric
Yeah.
Flair as well, and I put it in my head. I was like, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
I was like, I've only got to go out. This is how I was thinking about it. I've only got to go out for there for like 15 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I can
Get
go
through it.
rest.
Yeah.
And I just did it. And then ever since then, I've had it in myself that like no matter how I feel, it doesn't matter. Like I can go do it.
I think that's a really important mindset to have, though. Like me seeing you do that on a a weekly basis, um, is really, I guess, inspiring for me in a way of just like if I feel like I've got no energy or the crowd's not great or the people aren't great, the people aren't great sounds really mean, but like the
Yeah.
people aren't responding or whatever, that they've still paid to be at that show.
Yeah.
So you still need to go out and give it your all, no matter what, because they've paid to see you at the end of the day.
Sorry.
Their hard-earned money. Their kids might be excited to see you, or their husbands.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so it's really important just to go out and give your all because you don't want to look like you're thrown in the towel. And to be honest, sometimes on those shows, I see it as a bit of a test for myself.
Yeah.
Like, can I get the crowd behind me? Can I, um, get them to react to anything? But also as well, I think about it like this: the pressure's off in that situation. It's like the pressure's off in that situation. So I'm just trying to go out there and get experience at the end of the day and have fun. Like it's not like a high pressured situation. It's just go and give your all, and if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't really matter.
But
You've
that was
tried.
yeah, that was the thing. I remember you had that match in Open, and the crowd started chanting Otra Lucha, which means it's like another match, like change the match, and that happens sometimes when the crowd's like not into it. And you were trying to do what I said, which like the other girls kind of like freaked out and tried to end the match as fast as they could. But I told you, and like it's I think it's an important note. Like, no matter how the crowd is responding, still try and fucking finish as strong as you started and keep giving it your all because you might be able to change them. Because you still had like the back end of your match to go and it could have changed their mind. And like, that to me is always like important. Like, I don't want to just give up and just be like, oh, the crowd hate this. Like, let's not fucking even try. So, like, for an example, remember when I did Zona 23
Yeah.
and it was like in a junkyard
Yeah.
and they're used to seeing death matches and I was hired for a strong style match and I didn't know how it was going to go and as soon as the match started they started chanting Otto de Lucha like change the match. By the end I was so committed to having a fucking great match that we got a fucking ovation. Travis chants just fucking turned the whole thing around and they were like fuck that, like, and then the promoter was like that was one of the best matches we've ever had here. And that was like a real, like, kind of solidified in my mind like I have to keep always pushing no matter how the crowd, like, you know what I mean, no matter how the crowd's responding.
I think back.
Because
Can you move out the way, please, so I can get into the microphone? Um, so I think the thing is about that match when they were shouting the Ultra Lucha, um, it was a case of, like you said, you can change their minds. It's not just about, oh, they're shouting Ultra Lucha and then you give up. And that's why I was annoyed in that match particularly, and I don't think we've spoken about it on this podcast. But that match in particular annoyed me because the girls just threw in the towel. They just wanted to finish the match early. And actually, we did have a lot of back end stuff. We had a lot more stuff where we could like really dig deep and get the crowd back. I take pride in my work and I felt like I had a lot more to give. But rather than looking at why are we getting an Ultra Lucha chant and actually assessing that situation, it was just, oh, we got one, that's it. Let's look at surface level reasons as to why we got that, and then let's just give up and go to the back and give the crowd what they want. Like at the end of the day, none of you get respect if you just go, oh, they're shouting bad stuff at us, let's give her. Like, at no point should you ever, ever, ever give up. You dig deep and you give your all. Because at the end of the day, even if they are shouting Otra Lucha, like I said before, they have paid their money to be there. So dig deep and give them the best show that you can. If they're still going to be disrespectful by the end of the match, at least you know that you've given your all to it. And then you can go, well, there were some really disrespectful fans who can't see that we were trying. But at the end of the day, I felt like we were trying, and I felt like we were gonna, I was gonna go into a point of like really showing what I can do with what we've got planned, but it never came to fruition anyway. But it was seeing your match at Zone of 23, um, that taught me that because you did get an Ultra Lucha chant, and I was there watching it, and I was like, this crowd, man, like you're out there at the start giving it your all, coming in with this fire and this passion. And because it wasn't a hardcore match, it wasn't what they wanted, they started chanting Otra Lucha. Then when you just carried on and you didn't care and you dug deep and you showed them the wrestler that you are, the caliber of wrestler that you are, and the
And
type of
Cyber as
match.
well, like
And
the guy.
Cyber, yeah,
Yeah.
both of you together, the caliber of wrestlers that you are, and you put on a fantastic match. And by the end of it, they were going crazy. So no matter what is happening at any point in the match, you can always get them back.
Mhm.
And that's why it's just important that even if something goes wrong or something doesn't go quite right and something can knock your confidence in a match or whatever, you don't let that, and it's easier said than done, but you don't let that affect you because it can always come back. You can always change it. You can always do something sick. You can always do something strong. It's not just, oh, you've done something wrong at this point in a match, or this match isn't going the way you thought, and then it's just, that's it, let's end it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like another story, but I'm not sure if I should say it about my match in California with Pagano.
Yeah, say it, who cares?
So obviously, after speaking out, a lot of people say certain things about me online, and there's particular narratives that are not true. And I did a show in California, one of the first shows that I did um back in the United States after speaking out, and I was really really concerned. Like there was a few shows that we were doing, and
Yeah.
every show I was really fucking concerned about like how the crowd's gonna perceive me. Um,
If anyone's gonna heckle you.
Anyone's gonna heckle me, and the worst thing actually happened.
Yeah.
Just so we can get in there, and the worst thing actually happened, and this is to the point of like digging deep and like
Yeah.
still carrying on. I wrestled Pagano for this show in Texas called Kings of Lucha Libre. I was in the main event, and there was only about maybe 120 people there, but they were like really really hot. They were like a great crowd, and I was out doing merch beforehand. There was a woman there, this particular woman that I'm about to speak about. Didn't say anything to me before the show. I kind of just like said hello to everybody that was kind of around the ring, sold my merch, went to the back, came out for the match. Now, for whatever reason, she had in her head that I have been branded a rapist.
Yeah.
And that's what she was there to do, was to heckle me about being a rapist.
Yeah.
Now, I don't fucking need to say that I'm not a rapist. I should not even fucking have to say that because that's not what I was ever fucking um, accused of or anything like that. But through the whole fucking match, this lady was just like, "You're a rape," like screaming it at the top of her lungs. And I remember just thinking at the time, this is exactly like my worst nightmare. This is my
That's what
worst.
you've been
This is my
fearing.
worst nightmare.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it didn't register in my head as like the worst thing ever. So I
Yeah.
was just like, do you know what? I remember just this one point in the match thinking, fuck this lady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking give you the best show that I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna dig deep and fucking just I don't know how wrestling disproves whatever she's screaming, but like it's the only thing that I can offer in that moment that can fucking I guess redeem myself with this fucking
Yeah.
shit going on.
Yeah.
And at the end of the match, we had a fucking incredible match, me and Pagano. Super like strong style match, and um, I just remember being really emotional about it
Yeah.
because I was like, we had a fucking great match despite this shit, and I really fucking gave it my all despite what I was being faced with in
Yeah.
this match. and we got like money thrown in. We got like $200 thrown in the ring, which
Yeah.
was like crazy. And then Pagano got on the mic at the end, and he pointed her out,
Yeah.
and he said, "Fans like you don't deserve a place here. Like,
Yeah.
don't deserve a place sitting amongst us."
Yeah.
I was just like, he was saying stuff. He was saying it in Spanish, but he like told me what he was saying afterwards.
Yeah.
He was saying how like we're all here to like celebrate wrestling and cheer wrestling, and you've come specifically to try and ruin everybody's night.
Yeah.
He was saying like Travis deserves a second chance. The things that you said aren't true.
Yeah.
And they all fucking like standing ovationed his
Yeah.
his speech.
Yeah.
And I was totally blown away that one, somebody fucking defended me, and the crowd was on our side,
Yeah.
and she
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
So she got called out for her bullshit and left.
Yeah.
And I remember just like being really like, one, I was glad it didn't affect me like I thought it was going to,
Yeah. 100%.
and two, it didn't affect my work. And I just whatever maybe was going on in my head, I just channeled it into my work.
Yeah.
And that was a really important day for me, and again, getting over the speaking out stuff and whatever else. So yeah,
Yeah. And I mean, I wasn't there for that match.
you got the text afterwards.
I got the text after. Oh my gosh, the worst happened.
Help!
Like my heart pounding through my chest, like, oh, here we go.
Something's happened again.
Something's happened. Okay, right, brace yourself. But then all the positives that came after it really meant a lot to us both.
Yeah.
And to know that you were okay and that you had a great match, you had money thrown in the ring.
Yeah, for the cool photo.
Yeah,
For
and a cool photo.
of Pagano.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck. We're going off on a tangent.
What were we even talking about?
About what shows we had, and then you didn't have any shows last weekend.
No.
But I had Ultra Pro Wrestling in Monterrey.
Yeah.
Back to Monterrey again. I was supposed to wrestle Baby Extreme for the Ultra Pro Heavyweight title, but he was called away to another show.
He had a AAA show.
AAA show, I think.
Yeah.
And sorry if you can hear the dogs barking. I know. Oh, that's probably it. So frustrating.
Once it gets into Travis's head, it doesn't leave.
Yeah, I know. It's because they've been constantly barking. I know they can't hear it on the microphone, but I can hear it.
You're the same with voice notes as well. He'll be recording a voice note, and he's got the phone. You've got the phone right
Inside my mouth.
pretty much inside of your mouth talking. But because there's a car going past, he's like, oh, I can't do this. Deletes it. It's like nobody can. The recipient can't hear the card.
Yeah, I know.
And you're like, yeah, but I can. It's in my head.
It's ruined my vibe. It's ruined my energy. That's
I
what
can't
it
think
is.
what I'm saying.
That's what it is. It's ruined my energy. Anyway, so so I had this. Was at Ultra, and I instead wrestled Charo Negro, and we had a fucking awesome match, and it was really really cool. And I'm glad I got to wrestle him, because I know he's like an Olympic like wrestling champion. I don't know to what level, maybe Olympic level, and I got to get in and mix it up with him, and I've been waiting to do that for a little while. So
That's cool.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I just made him like wrestle me. I was like, just do what you do in training. And he
Yeah.
was just like throwing me around. I was like, fuck.
That's sick.
Just like a sack of shit, just
That
getting
is
thrown
very
around. And yeah, so that was cool. And yeah, that was a really, really fucking positive trip. And then Wednesday,
Yeah.
we had a show with Teneblis.
Yeah.
And it was a university kind
Junior.
Teneblis Junior. He does like what are they called? They're kind of like fair shows, like carnival exhibition shows. And this show in particular, you can tell that Bob, if you want.
Yeah, because I've worked with him quite a bit now. He's a really cool guy. And so he asked us to do a show on Wednesday, which was at a university campus in Santa Fe, which is like half an hour, 40 minutes outside of Mexico City. And it was just a real easy show. There were only 3 matches. It was in the middle of this uni campus, in front of all of these uni students, which made me feel horrendously old. Because it's been like 5 years this year since I finished uni. 5 years. And I still feel like I should be there.
What year did you finish uni?
I graduated in 2019.
I left uni in 2009. No, 2008.
Moving on.
You want to feel old. I was walking around like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, but I feel like that 5 years since I've left uni has
Yeah.
gone like so quick,
Yeah.
like scarily quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I still feel like I've not long finished uni. I think because I had a year out and then I had a year working and then we came to Mexico and we're still like waiting for things to take off here, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess because I had the year of work and then we came here and then we've still been like trying to move forward but waiting for something to come and waiting for some things to change.
Yeah.
That like it feels like it's gone stupidly quick.
Yeah. It's weird that we've nearly been here 3 years,
I know.
which is the scariest thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It feels like we just got here.
But it felt cool to be walking back at uni. It kind of has. I said to you, I feel like I miss uni a little bit in a sense.
You're like, should I do a master's?
Should I do a master's? Which I do want to. I would really like to. It's just more circumstantial at the moment, but I want to do something.
Mm.
You know, and I feel like I've got the time to do it.
Yeah.
I just don't really know what I would do, and then just trying to get financing from Student Finance England, and that's a ball
God,
ache.
another
And
fucking student loan.
another student loan on top of my mounting student debt. So yeah, it's a little bit. Sorry, the dogs have like
Actually gone crazy.
actually gone crazy, and now I can't think what I was saying.
Well, so anyway, you wrestled. No, who were you? You teamed with? What's the name? Mitzi. Missy or something?
It was me and Alita versus Morgana and Mitzi.
Yeah.
And it was just a fun, easy match. The crowd were great. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they know Lucha Libre. For some reason, some people seem to know who I was. I don't
Yeah.
know why I'm surprised by that in a sense, but
Yeah.
I guess because it just seemed like a general crowd.
Do you know what though? Because I was thinking the same thing when we were there. I was thinking like, oh, this is like, because I used to do like uni campuses and stuff back in New Zealand,
Yeah.
like wrestle in front of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't know wrestling at all. So that was kind of like in my head. But then this is Mexico. You know, wrestling's a part of the culture.
Actually, that's so
And
true.
and then because when I went out as well, they were like Travis. I was like, holy
Yeah,
fuck!
yeah.
I was like, how do you guys know who I am? I was like, I was just going, thank you.
Yeah.
Just
Thank you.
pulling thumbs up.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me on your
Yeah.
campus. Yeah, so I think for both of us, it was just fun, easy matches,
Yeah.
good pay. He always pays super well, so just put
Yeah.
him over in that sense.
Yeah, always great. Yeah,
Always
he's
super professional. Like, always looks after us. Like, good venues, food, drinks.
There was sandwiches backstage.
There were sandwiches backstage.
Oh,
like,
and
you
I had a
can't-
security escort as well. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's it always just feels like super cool working for him. You know, it feels like you're a real wrestler. when
Yeah.
you're not just kind of an afterthought.
Yeah, yeah.
Which-
Which we'll get onto in a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so that was that, and then oh yeah, I guess we are. What we were
I
about
had
to
a
talk about.
question come into my mind before we move on.
Okay.
How many amazing matches would you say that you've had since coming to Mexico?
Oh, fucking a lot.
Just you saying about the Charo Negro match.
Yeah.
It kind of just sparked this question in my mind because I feel like you've had a lot of matches that I don't know whether you expect something from them or not, but then you message me or you feel like you've not got the energy,
Yeah.
and then you message me and you're like, "That was awesome! I feel so happy."
Yeah. To be honest, because I was thinking about it the other day, about like good matches that I've had in Mexico, and like lately, yeah, no, come closer. Lately, I've actually been like really fucking happy with all my matches. Like I feel like my work. I don't know if obviously it's not just me. It's a combination of things. The show going well, the crowd being super hot, a good opponent, and sorry, that dog squealed, but it's Javier's dog, and I want to fucking message him. Dude, stop having your dog bark, because he barks every night like that. Yeah, so like it's a massive combination of things. Right, keep talking. I'm gonna message him.
Okay, so whilst you're messaging him, I'm just gonna say that I've seen you recently as well over the past few weeks have some incredible matches, and I love it when you're on a roll because we spoke about when we came to Mexico. The most important thing is that Trav finds his love for wrestling again and really enjoys the work. So when we came here, obviously it was difficult to start with, but now having matches with so many opponents that you didn't even know about before we came to Mexico, and just being, I feel like you have a lot more chemistry with people here and you work well and everyone's really happy to work with you. And I think that's all like a winning combination. And I think when you have those matches, you have found your love for wrestling again.
Yeah, it's I don't know, no, like, because people go, people go, oh, WWE kind of like fucking stunts you and stuff, but I don't even remember them stunting me. I think you just conform to a style, and now I feel way more freer to express how I want the matches to go. Because there's specific things that WWE ask of you, right? So, like, say you're wrestling more of a lower card guy, right?
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, we want you to go like 80% you, 20% them. And it's
Yeah.
like
How do you do that in
like,
a sense?
and the thing is, there's no real like, they don't really like teach you to do it. They
Yeah.
kind of just like let you do it by
Figure it
yourself,
out.
figure it out by
Yeah.
yourself. So at first, like I kind of struggled with a lot of that stuff because
Yeah.
they'd say like 70-30, and I'd let the guy get a couple moves and he'd be like, they'll go, that's too much. What's 70-30 then,
Yeah.
do? I don't know what you're talking about. But like here, I can orchestrate everything myself,
Yeah.
and if they listen to me, especially,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like obviously they have great ideas as well, and I try and always fit what they want in. I always try and make them look good. And I feel in myself personally that I'm doing some of the best work that I've done for myself.
Yeah.
Like selling more, trying to be a little bit more different with how I move in the ring, like a lot more facial expressions and character moments.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to put those into my work now. I don't know why. I'm just doing it. Like I don't know. I just wanted to add these things in, and because I'm like a lot longer in my career, like up in years in my career now, I feel more confident that I can do these things. Whereas like before, when you're like a young wrestler, you're like, I've got to fucking just do these moves and think about what I've got to remember. But now I'm like really confident with everything that I do, and I remember all the spots.
Yeah.
So I can put a little fucking character moment in before I do something,
Yeah.
or I can fuck around with the crowd and like get them involved and stuff like that. And I guess also too, being in Mexico, because we don't do always the bigger shows, like I don't feel pressure that there's like people like really fucking scrutinizing my stuff as well
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Every single little thing.
Yeah.
So, just another question off the back of that. When you were in WWE and you had to figure out, like a 70-30 match, and then you took the match to the agents,
Yeah.
would they help you with that? Like, let's take this out, or let's give him a little bit more.
Depend. I honestly depends on who it was. Like if you could, like it's like anything in any job, isn't it? It's like so it depends. Like so, for example, I wrestled Pete on NXT TV in America,
Yeah.
and um our agent was, I want to say, who did I think it was Scotty Too Hottie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that
I'm
what I
sure
told you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and he literally gave us zero input. He was just like, do whatever you guys want. I just have a sick match. And we're like, all right.
Yeah.
He
Great.
goes, I've got no notes for you. I was like, all right, sweet. So we just did whatever we wanted. And then we got to the back, everybody was like super happy with it. And they
Yeah.
were like, oh, who's your guys' agent? And we're like, we just put Scotty over. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
Scotty helped us with the match.
Yeah.
And they were like, fucking good work, Scotty. Scotty was like, like
Yeah,
smiling, like,
yeah.
good work, boys. Like, I was like, who cares? Like,
But
yeah.
in a sense, he made the right decision in
Yeah.
trusting you. Like, he had that
Yeah.
instinct to go, oh, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
If he was somebody that was like, I have to control this,
Yeah.
or, maybe was a little bit more like power hungry, he might have picked apart the match
Yeah.
unnecessarily. But
Yeah.
instead, he had the confidence in you
Yeah.
guys.
But there has been the occasion, and I don't remember exactly which producer it was. There have been like, maybe we changed this, but it wasn't for the better.
Yeah.
It was like, it was something more contrived or a little bit more like forced character moments.
Okay.
And I was like, in my head, I was like, that doesn't work. But we have to try and fit in their ideas. Otherwise, they can't justify their jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we
Yeah.
want to help them too because they're our friends as well.
Yeah.
So that was like another like difficult part of like the balancing act of the
Yeah.
WWE.
And I guess it's just respecting the management in a
Yeah.
sense,
Well, at the end of the day, it's your job is to wrestle for them.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not gonna just be like, no, I don't want to listen to you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, it's not.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
they're telling you the fucking things.
Yeah.
You're wrestling for them. They're paying you to fucking. This is what they want. So
Yeah. I think sometimes people think because it's wrestling, it's a bit of a free for all, but at the end of the day, it's still your job. And in any other job, in any other walk of life, if your boss told you to do something and you weren't happy with doing it, you would still pretty much have to do it because it's your job. So it's the same thing here, essentially.
Yeah.
Your boss is essentially telling you this is what you need to do,
Mhm.
whether or not you like it or not, or agree with it. That's what the job is right now, and you
Yeah.
just have to suck it up and deal with it.
Well, that's like I worked at a show
Yeah,
recently,
yeah,
and they gave me well, it got changed. Like the match got changed or whatever. I think we talked about it on one of the last podcasts.
yeah,
But the match got like changed and all that, and blah blah blah. It was whatever they wanted. Then the guys tried to change the match,
yeah,
and I was like, guys, like this is what they want. I
yeah.
was like, we shouldn't be like it's their instruction.
They're the
It's
ones
up
paying us.
it's up to us to produce this match the best way we can with the instructions that we have.
Yeah,
But because I don't speak Spanish, they were like, oh, whatever, let's just change it because it makes more sense. Then they got in trouble afterwards for changing the match.
yeah,
And like, again, whatever, it's indie wrestling, you're not really getting in trouble. But like, it goes to show, like, they had a specific idea of what they wanted from this match.
yeah.
And
And
yeah,
sorry, also the match wasn't as good with the
yeah,
changes.
it was fucking annoying.
So
And also too, like, because I was on the heel team, and usually I'm a heel.
yeah,
Then the changes was I switched the face, and I was like, why did you guys change? This is not a good change. And I was saying
yeah,
like, I'm not a face here.
yeah,
I mean, I can do it. I don't give a fuck. I'll do that job if that's what it is. But I'm
yeah,
usually a heel.
yeah.
So, and I'm a foreigner. Like, what the whatever. I don't care. But again, like that doesn't really bother me. It was just more annoying that they weren't listening. Like I was a face on that university
Yeah,
campus, and I was like the most over. Like I'll do it. Like I
yeah,
don't mind. But I think my strength is better as a heel here in Mexico. Like I'll
yeah.
get the card better. But like, it's
Well,
whatever.
to be honest, when I did that show on Wednesday, I was a heel, and then the announcer did something, and it confused me. And then in my head, I was just like, "Oh, I'm a face," and then I ran out, and I was like super energetic, like slapping everyone's hands, got in the ring, like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "Hold on, wait, no, actually, I'm a heel. What am I doing?" And then I was just like, "Oh shit!" But um,
Yeah.
thankfully, I think it was okay anyway, because for the most part here, whether people are heel or face, they'll just run out and do that anyway. So
Yeah.
it's not the
Yeah.
biggest deal in the world, but for me personally, I don't like to be a heel and then run out and do facey shit. So when I did it, I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What, you know, when you just have like a massive brain fart?
Yeah.
I had a massive brain fart in that moment.
Yeah. I just don't even like care anymore. Like if something like stupid happens like that in the ring, or like
Yeah.
some like mistake, I was like, oh, I'll just go with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't really matter.
That is the good thing about Mexico is you
Yeah.
can just kind of go with it and it's not the
Yeah,
end of
there's
the
no like
world.
stress to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so move on.
So do you want to talk about the show that was meant to be on tonight?
I'll try to do it with a little bit of tact. Um, we were supposed to be on a show for Conan Big. It's his retirement match. The show is on right now as we speak, and we are sitting in our house. We were dealing with a promoter. The communication was poor. We did not have flights. Well, we didn't have a return flight, and to us, that's very risky because we've been in a situation before where we've been trapped in a city, and the promoter didn't get our return flights. So now, when we go somewhere, we have to guarantee our return flights, especially for Jess as well. Like a girl in Mexico, we kind of want to make sure that we have a safe passage home.
And as well, we also had we've got a show on Saturday the next day. So we needed to be back for that show because if we didn't if we didn't get back for that show, then not only are we not getting paid for the show on the Saturday, but we've made a commitment to be at that show for that promoter. So if we're not there on that date, then that kind of screws him over as well. So we said, and we communicate. Well, Trav communicated with him several times, month, 1 month, 2 months before the show, to talk about our pay and to talk about the flights. And he never really got back to Trav all that much. Few things here and there, but never confirmed our pay. Um, and then when he did come through with a flight, it was on the Wednesday. Now, one of the other guys on the show, he had a flight ticket that didn't work. So we wasn't even sure if that flight was going to work. We were like hopeful that if we needed to take the flight, it would. But then because we knew the tickets might not work, the codes didn't work on the app. So we knew that this, even if we get the return flight, this outbound ticket might work, but also then the return ticket might not work. And without a confirmation of pay, if we don't have that confirmation of pay and know how much we're getting, and then for whatever reason we miss the show the next day, and then potentially get stuck in Monterey, that's like a lot of money for us that it's costing us. So I messaged the promoter um, on the Wednesday, so yesterday, just saying like, look, hey man, we don't want to cause problems. We don't want to have any trouble. It's as simple as this. We like to just turn up to work, be as professional as possible, and go back. We don't make demands. We're not those kind of wrestlers where we need special treatment, we need this, that, or whatever. That's not us. All that I'm asking is that you have our return flight and that you guarantee us our pay. And I must have sent about 3 voice notes to which every one he completely ignored the conversation of pay. At which point, the last voice note, I said, please, just communicate with me why you aren't talking about pay. Is it a fact that you've not got good ticket sales? Are you not sure you're going to be able to pay us our pay? Just communicate with me so that we can figure this out. I don't want to go into something blind, and I think we can have enough respect for each other here in this situation just to be honest with each other and have that communication, because that's how we're going to move forward with a working relationship. And again, completely ignored that and just said he'll have the return flight from the sponsor at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock came, we never got that return flight. It kept on getting delayed and delayed, and then
We were supposed to be at the airport.
we were supposed to be at the airport for 8, to be on the flight at 10. So we were like, hey, just please tell us what's going on, because we're going to have to leave to the airports for the airport soon. And then something happened with Conan Big, and he was so stressed. And I will, the promoter was so stressed. And I will say this, what I've said in the last couple minutes about the promoter could paint him in a negative light. But I don't actually have any ill will or bad feelings towards him, because in the end, he has been honest with us. In the end, he sent us a message and he said, I hope there's no bad blood between us, but I think it's best if you don't come this time and we can work together again in the future. And to be honest, that's fine with me. I would rather just that communication.
Yeah, an honest message.
That honest message to tell us where we're at, because he said he didn't want to risk us not being able to get back and then losing work. And to be honest, that honesty and that openness and the no ill will or bad feeling is something that happens very, very rarely here. It's an experience that we don't really have. They just like to cover it up sometimes, some promoters, and not pay you and not get flights back or whatever. But he has been honest with us the whole time about the situation. There was just essentially, before yesterday, there was more of a lack of communication about things. So we don't have any ill will towards him and the situation, because that means we can still work on Saturday, we can still fulfill our commitments that way. And actually, it's kind of worked out the best for him in his show and with the how the main event is going. And it's all come from him as well. So I hope we can work with him again in the future, and that things will be better. And I also respect that he respected our point of view and our position, because a lot of people wouldn't do that. They would just go, oh well, you couldn't come, that's on you, that's unprofessional, and badmouth us. But he wasn't saying that at all. He was saying, I understand why you're saying what you're saying. I understand why you've got those terms. I understand your position and needing to be back, and that you've been messed around before, so there's no bad blood from my end as well. And we'll definitely work together again in the future. So all in all, it's happened. We would have loved to have been on this show and to have worked for him, and obviously to be in Monterey. We love going to Monterey. But it's just one of those things, and there'll be another opportunity in the future.
Yeah. And sorry to everybody that was waiting to see us.
Yeah.
Okay, so that pretty much answers one of the first questions that we have. Anyway,
Okay.
but you wrapped that up nicely. Good one.
Thank you so much.
I started tidying up in the kitchen
You
as you
did. You did actually.
as you were talking.
You just let me go with that one, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I was like, she's got this. I gotta go tidy up. Gotta do the dishes for a little sec. Okay. Well, first question from Ivan Vasquez 10.
Okay.
Vasquez 10. Tu mejor mentor hasta el momento en Mexico. Saludos, Travis. Only me. He's not talking to you.
Oh wow. Well, you answer the question then.
He's asking so he's asking who's our best mentor or teacher in Mexico, and I feel like we can only both say Ricky Marvin.
Yeah, and I know we talk about him a lot, but it's because he is the one who's taught us the most,
Mhm.
and been there for us the most. And I think essentially from the start as well, which I know we've said before and we've hammered on home before. And I know if you've listened to all the other ones, you'll be like, oh my gosh, talking about Ricky again. But genuinely, for me especially, Ricky, he's always helped just to, I guess for me, keep my feet on the ground and teach me how things should be and how I should handle myself here, especially with the other girls. And um, yeah, and I really appreciate that. I think because Ricky was married to Stephanie Vaca, and Stephanie was a foreigner in Mexico, the same as me, and had the same troubles that I've had.
Yeah.
And he's seen it all firsthand. So he can give me that advice and understand what I'm going through. And also, like, treat the situations that I'm going through with tact as well. He's like, I've had, my experience with Stephanie where she was crying and things like that. And I know how to handle that now.
The biggest thing that Ricky's taught me, to be honest, is my whole career I would never go with my head on a back roll, and now I go with my head every time because he screamed at me that one time.
Over your head.
I was like, "Fuck, I better go over it."
So yeah, the thing for context, the thing is with Ricky is he's an absolute perfectionist. So even down to your basics, you could be, what were you at the time? 11 years into wrestling,
Fucking 12.
12 years into wrestling, right? And Trav started doing some roles, and immediately, because he's such a perfectionist, it's like, this isn't quite right, or you've got to back roll over your head. You've got to land like this on your rolls. Your feet have got to be like this. And for you, really, Trav, it was just back rolling over your head, which you'd always kind of been scared about because of your
100%,
dislocated
yeah.
shoulder.
Because I had my shoulder injury, so
But that's why the people he trained, and that's why if you're looking at somebody like Stephanie, who has just won the New Japan Women's title,
yeah.
when you look at how good she is, obviously she's put the work in, but Ricky was the one who trained her.
Right, so Ricky Marvin, that's the answer to that
Okay.
question. Then the next question that we have is from, I think it's from Score.
Okay.
Yeah, that's from Score. Do you have any hidden talents?
Do I have any hidden talents?
You're pretty good at dancing.
Do you think?
Yeah. Not singing though.
Absolutely
Only
not
dancing.
singing. You know, my dad said to me one time, if I could sing, I would have it all.
It's a really backhanded.
I know.
compliment.
I know. I was like, thanks, Dad. I don't know whether to take that as an insult or a
Dancing.
compliment. I think I took it as a compliment at the time because I knew that I couldn't sing.
Yeah. I think I don't know if this is a talent. I assume it is. Like you're really good at like studying for shit. Like you fucking just like if you commit to studying to something, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this for the next fucking 12 hours.
I'm all or nothing really
Yeah.
with it, to be honest. But that can be in itself a detriment because I know I'm all or nothing
Yeah.
in a sense. So like when I do babble, I
Mhm.
have to sometimes just be like, it's okay just to do 2 lessons and then let's try and break it down into manageable chunks because once I get going, I really enjoy it and I could do it all day.
I'm so fucking opposite like that. I'm like, I do 2 lessons of Babel, and I'm like, my brain is fucking fried. I was like, I'm sick of hearing Spanish words.
I don't know why. Once I get into studying, like when I was studying my old lectures and things like that,
Yeah.
when I get into studying, I really, really enjoy it.
Fucking like you like study like old maths shit that you wrote,
I
like
know,
old study notes.
because it frustrates me that I can't remember the things that I used to know off the back
That's
of my hand
mental. That's
sometimes.
crazy. I would never like if I went back and studied my old. It'd be like, one, it would be trash. It would just be like
It'd just be doodles.
Yeah.
But yeah, but because I make it, I do like throw myself into it. That when I think about like coming to do it the next day, I'm like,
Yeah.
it seems like such a chore.
Yeah.
But I know once I get into it, I'm fine. But
Yeah.
I'm a huge procrastinator.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have any other talents?
I think that's about it. I mean, I was always like pretty sporty and athletic, but
Yeah.
I think that just goes hand in hand with wrestling anyway.
Yeah.
I was great goal shooter at school in netball
Yeah.
and in basketball. Um, yeah, but those are just things I've not played netball in
Yeah.
years, so I wouldn't really say
It's not really a
it's
hidden
not really
talent,
a
is it?
hidden talent to be
I would say
honest.
dancing. 'Cause you're pretty good at dancing.
Yeah.
If you ever let me watch you, but you don't. As soon as I come around the corner, you're like, "Don't look at me! Stop looking!" But I try
Yeah.
and catch you out. Oh, I got you! Like,
Well, my mum's always like, "You should dance when you come out to the ring,"
yeah.
and I'm like, I really appreciate how much confidence that you have in my dancing
Yeah.
abilities, mum. But it's not really my style. But
Yeah.
I like the support. It's nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to you. Enough about me.
I don't know. Do I have any talents?
You are hilariously funny.
Nah.
No, no, let's not underplay it here.
Yeah.
You looked up to Jim Carrey a lot when you was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And you can see it. The way you can contort your face
Yeah.
and do all of these different
Yeah.
voices and become these different little like characters and stuff.
Yeah.
You're so entertaining.
Thanks.
You are hilarious. And they say like you get girls by being funny.
Oh, here we
But
go.
that is a genuine thing that I love about you is that you're hilarious. Like you make me belly laugh daily.
Oh, like yesterday.
Like yesterday.
You couldn't breathe this. Yeah. I wouldn't say why. Fucking hell. I wouldn't say why. Jesus.
Oh.
No, the thing is though, it's that's in context. Like I used to love, well, I still love stand-up comedy. I watch it like all the time, and like Jim Carrey was like one of my, well, he is my favorite actor, and all his like facial tics and features, I try and put that into wrestling, and that's where I've like crafted that. Like there's a bit in The Grinch where he like does that big smile when he gets like an
Yeah.
evil thought, and he like his like shoulder, like his neck goes up. He's like,
Yeah.
you know, that massive smile.
You literally did it
I just
right
did
there.
it.
Yeah.
His whole like frame goes up, and like I do that in the ring. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I've like, if I'm a heel especially,
Yeah.
I beat down somebody and like I get away with the ref, I like do the same like smile.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not like unnatural. Like it's just something that I've like watched for
And
years.
you've been able to take on.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's a hidden talent. It's like a talent that I try to put towards wrestling. So
I think so though, because it's you being an entertainer. And also just it's a natural ability that people don't see of you
yeah,
unless you spend a lot of time,
yeah.
with someone. So
Yeah, I know with my wrestling, I'm a real fucking perfectionist when it comes to comedy timing. Like, if you show me a comedy spot
yeah,
and you're like, "What do you think of this?" I'll be like, "This is fucking terrible,"
yeah.
because like the timing will be off. I don't know why. I just
You get the timing though.
come.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
You get comedic timing, and I think that's a thing that's really hard to do, and it has to be innate. It has to be
yeah.
an innate ability, really.
But there's also a part to that where it like has to be played with sincerity as well. Like
Yeah,
it has to be played like I'm serious. Like you couldn't do it tongue in cheek. And this, I guess I could go on a fucking tangent about this, but this is where like AEW for me falls down.
yeah,
I watch that and I watch some of the comedy stuff and it's really tongue in cheek. Like they're winking at the camera.
yeah,
That's not how comedy should be played.
yeah,
Play it seriously. People know it's funny.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Don't like try and like take don't take away from the people that they can't think for themselves.
yeah,
They know when it's stupid.
yeah,
Like if it's stupid enough, it's just stupid. You don't have to look at the camera and be like, "Hey, you fucking
yeah.
think that's funny, huh?"
Feels really patronizing.
Yeah,
It feels like they're just going, "Oh, you're kind of dumb," so we're winking at the camera.
yeah. Like a lot of the Young Buck stuff is like that, which I can't fucking stand. But like again, it's whatever. Like I don't know. That stuff to me is like, but it all is like crafted into wrestling for me as well.
Yeah,
So it's not like I don't know if it's a hidden talent, but like I try to put those talents of like comedic timing and stuff into my wrestling from all the stuff that I've learned. I don't
yeah.
know.
Well, just one more talent that I think you have as well.
Go on.
You're a very good writer.
Writer.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I think so. I think, as your mom has told you, you have a way with words.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's become kind of quite evident recently.
Mm.
Um, you've got a lot of sincerity and you're very wise.
Oh shit!
And
Wow, maybe now, maybe not in the past.
yeah, yeah, you have
I've
very
made some
much,
mistakes in the past.
learned some lessons.
Yeah.
But the way you write things, sometimes because, as you said, like I'm more of an academic writer. So sometimes you look to me
Mhm.
as like, how should I write this or what should I say?
Yeah.
And I'm actually more inclined now to say, you write it yourself because you know how to write.
Yeah.
You can put the words together like beautifully in some cases. You know just how to say what you need to say.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes I don't think you've got. I don't mean this to sound patronizing, but I don't think have really realized that about yourself
I don't think I've ever thought of myself as a writer.
as
That's
a
probably
writer.
why.
I think you've always been the mindset of like, I'm an athlete,
Yeah.
so I've always been good at
I'm
sports.
a dumb fucking jock.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
you like drama. You've always been more
Yeah.
of like a creative person,
Yeah.
and I don't think you've ever really thought of yourself as an academic
Yeah.
or as someone with intelligence. But I can see that. I can see the
Oh.
intelligence that you have, and I
Yeah.
can see it when you write.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thanks. That was very nice. Oh, I'm gonna write a book. No, I did start writing that
You have
book. Yeah.
started, but that's the point. I think that was one of the first times that I really realized it as well because you were writing your book and
Yeah.
writing your story, and it's in your words. And when you were reading to me what you'd wrote,
Yeah.
it was making me cry, and it was making you cry as well because it's your story and
Yeah.
it's your hardships. But it was really like it really did, resonate
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Well, I think like whenever I write, whether an email or even like that writing that I did for my book, like I try to make it easily digestible and like empathetic to whoever I'm speaking to.
Yeah,
Like I try to make it so everybody can understand and easy to digest. And I don't know if that's also down to wrestling as well. Like it's come from wrestling, because wrestling's like the purest form of that as well. It's like you need to make it easily digestible.
yeah,
And I don't know, maybe I had that before wrestling, and then when it came into wrestling, I translated it to wrestling, or the other way around. I'm not sure. But yeah, I've always tried to like make things like it's like, we were talking about it today. Like when we talk to people in Spanish, like, or if we're trying to speak broken English to them, they probably just understand us as we talk normally. But
yeah,
we try to make it so easy for them to
yeah.
like.
By
We just
saying it in
but
the way that they
the
say it to
stupidest like
us,
yeah
so that they understand it
yeah
easier.
yeah like try to be empathetic so they can understand as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good thought. I never really thought about that, but I do like writing. I think also too. I've always been when in school. I loved English. Like
yeah,
I loved like words
yeah,
and like big words. You know, on
yeah,
my phone.
yeah. Well, that's another thing as well.
Close to the mic.
So something that you really won my mom over with this as well is that you have like words that like a word of the day thing, and then any new words that you learn, you write it down.
Yeah, it's
You
like a.
write them down.
Hold on, I'll get some out.
Get some
We're
out.
gonna wrap this up soon though, because it's like gonna go over otherwise.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I just have one question.
go on.
Do you have any more?
Any more what?
Any more questions?
No, that was the last question.
Okay. The one question I have, and this kind of feeds quite nicely, um, it was from Frida from Balkan Tiger, and she asked, "Are we married?"
Oh fuck. No. No, we're not.
Simply, no, we're not.
Yeah.
Um, why not, Trav?
Fucking shit. We can put some more pesos together.
um,
I can't find them.
do you not find them?
I'm trying to change the subject.
I
I
know,
can't find them.
real, like
Yeah.
in a panic. Oh, the words aren't here. Okay, that's it, guys. Bye. No, we're not married. We're still
There it is.
quite simply boyfriend and girlfriend, aren't we?
Yeah. So these are some of the words. Fuck, I don't remember running half of these out. Like these are some of the words. Like so, I will just hear a word, and I'll know what. Sometimes I'll know what it means, but I'll like write it in my notes app to like use it later.
Yeah.
So, pariah, an outcast.
Yeah.
Ruminating, think deeply.
Yeah.
Endearing. No, that's pretty easy. But I heard it and I just wrote it down. Reciprocity, mutual exchange. Impetus, something that makes a process or activity happen or happen more quickly. Catastrophize, view or present a situation.
Well, you know that
Is
word. That word
As soon
is
as I learned
used.
that, as soon as I learned that word, it fucking became really prevalent in my life.
You
Uh,
learned the word catastrophize, and then me and my mom walked into your life, and it was like,
oh, that's what
oh.
it is. Metaphor, the blending of idioms or cliches. Repugnant, extremely distasteful, unacceptable. Vocation, a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation. Ambivalent, having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something. Ubiquitous, this one I always use now.
Yeah, yeah,
Present, appearing or found everywhere. Mendacious, not telling the truth or lying. Superfluous,
yeah,
unnecessary, especially through
yeah.
being more than enough. Cantankerous, bad tempered, argumentative, uncooperative. I don't know what the fuck. What is this one?
Bailey?
Ellie? I don't remember this
Fail
at
to
all.
give a true
Fail to
notion.
give a true notion or impression of something. Disguise or contradict. So yeah, I just
Okay, there
write.
you go.
Yeah, I just write things down like that I hear.
That really impressed me when you showed me that, to be honest. That was one of the
I'm
things
gonna
that
write
made
more
me
down. Yeah.
like you. I was like, oh, he is kind of intelligent. I like that.
He's quite mendacious. Oh, no, I don't remember what that meant. Okay, so that's all the questions that we have.
Do you
Plus, we're
want to
going
do you
over.
want to talk more about us not being married,
No,
or
just we're not married, and maybe soon. All right, maybe soon. Go all right. Fucking. Actually, here's the chance on this podcast. I'll get on my knee. I'm already sitting
you're already sitting
down.
down?
No,
Oh,
no,
isn't
no.
this so? This is what every girl's dreams
No, we're
of.
not. And if we do, I want to do it properly. Ask your father and all that stuff. All right. So just calm down. Just put it out your mind.
Just stop thinking about it, okay?
I'm not sweating. Oh, I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
No,
So.
it'll all happen in when the timing is right. I don't
Mhm,
think we like to pressure or rush anything, but
mhm.
we're happy as we are, and then when the timing is right and something happens, whatever,
We gotta
then
wrap this up,
yeah.
otherwise it's too long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to declare, my love for you, but again, you just,
I've been trying to wrap it up for like 10 minutes because I was gonna go too long. All right. Okay. Thank you for listening. If you could leave a like and a comment and a share and ring the bell and do a subscribe.
perfect,
Yep. And also, if you're on Spotify, leave a fucking star rating and a question or
perfect.
a comment.
And also before we go,
Mhm.
do you love me?
I love you.
Do you really?
Oh fuck. Yes. This is my life 24/7.
I don't think you do.
We'll discuss it off air. Come here. All right.
Oh,
All right,
okay. Yeah.
everyone. Bye. I
Bye.
love you.
Oh.
Oh.